The role that personality styles play in the sales arena dramatically impacts overall sales results. Consider how the prospect's personality impacts each opportunity. Consider how the salesperson's personality can alter an outcome. Review these percentages and compare them with the previous 4 slides that covered decision-making and action. 44% of salespeople call 1 time. 20% of salespeople call 2 times. 14% of salespeople call 3 times. 12% of salespeople call 4 times. 90% of salespeople stop calling a prospect after only 4 calls. 70% of all sales are made after the 5th call. A salesperson in the majority, 64%, significantly lowers their income earning potential because analyticals and amiables make up approximately 70% of the population, and based on the percentages provided, as few as 12% of all salespeople have enough discipline to stick with them long enough to win their business. On average, drivers require the least amount of contacts, calls, or visits in order to make a decision. Analyticals require the greatest number of contacts, calls, or visits in order to make a decision, proving that patience and persistence are key qualities in highly successful and high income earning sales professionals. Personality has power to uplift, power to depress, power to curse, and power to bless. Our personalities work in our favor and help us to achieve positive results when we understand our natural strengths and leverage them to the best of our abilities while tempering our weaker tendencies, according to Paul Harris. It is common to think in terms of how I would like to be approached, interacted with, and presented to. If you have concluded that people's needs and priorities are influenced by their dominant personality traits, then you will understand that successful outcomes are often determined by your ability to change how you are perceived. Review the recommendations for each of the 4 primary personalities. What are some of the key considerations for successful interactions with drivers? This is a bottom-line person, so do not overload them with information. They want and desire useful information, cut the fluff, and get to the chase. They are time management conscious individuals and hate the thought of wasting time. Very restless, think that vacations are a waste of time. They are not interested in being entertained, so tone it down. A high energy presentation doesn't appeal to them. They are street fighters. Their number 1 goal is to win. They are only out for themselves and addressing their own concerns. Victory is their number 1 priority. They can be threatening and intimidating. The secret is to make them believe that they are and have won without being victimized by them. Take charge personality. They are assertive, persuasive people, and they need to be in control. Makes decisions based on facts or perceived facts, has a much shorter attention span, and makes decisions much quicker. What are some of the key considerations for successful interactions with expressives? They want to feel good, excited, and get pumped up. They want enthusiasm and energy. Much shorter attention span, makes decisions quickly, don't like to think things through. You need to paint a picture of how the situation will improve with the change or introduction of the new system. They get excited and use excitement, and they can also potentially lose perspective, make something bigger and better than it actually is. They are assertive and love to persuade, influence, and change people's minds, which can work in your favor if you win them over as champions for your cause. Not interested in detail, more interested in fun, humor, and jokes. Take charge personality, needs to be in control, not as extreme as a driver. Makes decisions based on emotion, sloppy, disorganized, and somewhat chaotic in the way they do things. Can come across as flippant, poor follow-up. As a general rule, it's not a good idea to leave something requiring further action or follow-up in their hands to take care of. What are some of the key considerations for successful interactions with amiables? Doesn't want to be preached to or yelled at, and they are not interested in high-power personality types. They move at a slower pace. You must make a connection, continually work on the relationship, build rapport, and always keep in mind that your main goal is not to offend them. Long attention span, slower decision making. They want and need time to think things over. Amiables won't make a decision in your favor if they don't like you. This person is the pacifier. They want to make certain that everyone is happy and having a good time because collective group contentment is essential to them. Consensus and agreement is very important. They want a final outcome where everybody wins. Makes decisions based on emotion. They have a low level of assertiveness and they are less inclined to force their opinions on other people. Counting on them to take your idea forward and sell it to others can be risky at best. Sloppy, disorganized, and somewhat chaotic in the way they do things. Not as severe as an expressive, though. What are some of the key considerations for successful interactions with analyticals? Get them talking about what matters most to them and what is most important. They dislike push and shove. They prefer that discussions and agreements are rigid. Provide them with clear, precise, detailed, and accurate information. They want tons of detail, and they make decisions based on facts. Can never get enough information, want it to excess, to the point of ridiculous sometimes. They have a high need for order. Time management conscious individuals. Always keep your time commitments with an analytical. Less assertive and inclined to force their opinions on other people. Not as severe as amiables. Long attention span, slowest at decision making, unemotional, wants and needs time to think things over. Always wants to make the highest quality decision based on information. They are thoughtful people, deep thinkers, and they are curious to know how things are put together or how they work. Love gadgets and technical products. Only those who are prepared to adjust to the needs and priorities of other people's personalities have the highest success rate in professional selling, as noted by Roger Dawson when he stated, "The same approach with different people can get you totally different results." What are some of the key considerations for successful interactions with groups of 2 or more personalities? This is where your abilities to assess and adjust to the needs of individual personalities is really put to the test. The knowledge, understanding, and application of what you have learned about the 4 primary personality styles can massively accelerate your success in group settings. Ask questions to establish which personality styles are represented in the room. Leverage this information to build a bridge between the decision makers who will have varying perspectives based on their personality preferences and primary needs, wants, goals, and objectives. Identify individual, personal concerns, separate them from corporate priorities. Balance your style of communication and presentation to best suit the personalities represented in the meeting, presentation. Become the mediator between decision makers who may communicate varying priorities by helping them value each other's opinions and perspectives so that they come to the conclusion that the ultimate outcome that they desire is similar or the same. Learning Spotlight number 4. It's time to review what we've covered so far. Each question in the quiz has a 90-second time limit, and the quiz has a 15-minute time limit. You cannot pause the quiz once you begin. The quiz includes many types of questions, including true or false, drag and drop, multiple answers, etc. Read the questions carefully and make sure you understand what is being asked before submitting your response. Many of the questions or variations of them will be included in the final exam. You will be graded, and the passing grade for the quiz is 70%. You will have 3 chances to attain a passing grade. If you fail to attain a passing grade after 3 attempts, you will be locked out of the course. You will have an opportunity to review the quiz responses upon successful completion. If you wish to review the previous slides and sections, do so before advancing. Upon completion of the quiz, please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance to the next step in the learning path. This concludes step number 8 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance when you are ready to proceed.